Kansas City Chiefs 31, Las Vegas Raiders 17. Chiefs moved to 8-3, coming off their Monday night loss to the Eagles, bounced back well, and the Raiders fall to 5-7. Raiders got up early, man. Great first drive. Aiden O'Connell converts 3 first downs on third down. Josh Jacobs with a 63-yard touchdown run. The Raiders were up 14-0, and it should have been more. They missed a 30-yard field goal in there as well on a 4th and 1 that they probably should have gone for it. And so there was a real world where the Raiders were up 3 scores. Didn't matter though because the Chiefs, better team and came back pretty well. But Raiders made it a game early.
Yeah, O'Connell played really well, I thought. As you said, should have been up more. There was some crazy stat about like the number of times Mahomes has been down like 2 scores in recent years, and this was one of like not very many. So they had Kansas City in a hole.
They also win most of those games when they're down 10. Not as much as Jalen Hurts down 10.
Well, they just win most of their games, period. So
yeah, true.
There's no scenario you can put them in that they don't win most of their games. Yeah, O'Connell played really well, had an absolute dime to Jacoby Myers down the sideline, like a slot fade route, I think. But one of the big things that helped Kansas City come back was Rashee Rice being their receiver. Like, they, I think, have found the guy that should be, the secondary target to Travis Kelce, and it is Rashee Rice. And, as seems to be the case with Rashee Rice, there's a drop in there as well. But 8 catches from 10 targets, 107 yards, a big run after the catch touchdown, which is what he might be best at of all his skill sets. Like, he's their guy that they need to lean on now. And remember might have been last week, we were like, look, he's clearly their best option. There is no reason any other wide receiver should be getting more snaps than Rashee Rice. Well, this game, no other wide receiver did get more snaps than Rashee Rice. So that part is working.
Yeah, the 39-yard shallow cross on third down. Rashee Rice just outruns the defense. Great play there. He has been fantastic after the catch. I agree. I mean, that's the guy they should be going to. Travis Kelce had a few slow weeks. He had a nice game. Mahomes hit him on a really nice crosser for 27 yards. It's just still fascinating seeing this Kansas City offense. They were effective in this one without – like Max Crosby was doubtful for this game. He was the first player who was doubtful to actually be active and then play. He had a sack, which came after Mahomes held the ball forever.
And they had to drag him off the field.
Yeah.
Like, he was pissed off because they were, like, wanting him to come to the sideline and, like, take a rest at some point.
First off, they were doubling him, and he just wasn't effective, right? So that was his only pressure, the sack.
Right.
And without Max Crosby, the Raiders, Malcolm Koonce has had a pretty nice season, but they don't get much pressure. So for Kansas City, quick hitting passing attack, like after a slow start, they pretty much weren't stopped offensively. And then the Raiders had to, there was some game management snafus in there for the Raiders, including they don't go for the 4th and 1. They probably got into that, hey, we'll get up 10. Yeah, we'll just get up 10 on the Chiefs, when early in the game, all you're trying to do is maximize points. You're not trying to get up 2 scores. You have to maximize points, and it's 4th and 1. They miss a 30-yard field goal by Daniel Carlson. #take the points, but he missed, and they should have kept their foot on the gas. And even after that, they were still up 14-0 at one point. And they also had the Josh Jacobs running game looking pretty good, grabbing your 3, 4, 5 yards a pop, broke the 63-yarder. They were doing all the things to kind of keep Kansas City off the field. O'Connell played well, as you said, but Chiefs defense cracked down after that slow start, and Mahomes and the Chiefs move the ball like they normally do. So
yeah, one of the elements of this Kansas City defense, so it's really good generally, but they, I think, have also been unusually good at dialing up the right play in really high leverage situations. I think that's one of Spag's biggest strengths, like defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo. He manages to dial up plays right when they need them, and they're so good in these situations. There was a play like 4 or 5 minutes into the fourth quarter where the Raiders are only down 11 at this point. They've got 3rd and 10, and it ends up being the sort of the summation of the play in the game book or whatever would be batted pass by Trent McDuffie, right? And that's the 3rd down gone and blah, blah, blah. But when you watch the way this play actually unfolds pre-snap, it's fascinating. Like, the Chiefs are set up so that they have all the bodies on the left side of the defense. Josh Jacobs is on that side of the the offense ready to sort of pick up a blitz. Then before the snap, two guys flip to the other side, right? Justin Reed is one of them, and Drew Tranquil, I think, is the other, the linebacker. Reed just bounces all the way to the other side in the A-gap and threatens blitz, and Tranquil starts moving to that side and ends up dropping out of the look entirely and dropping into coverage. Justin Reed wins so quickly into the A-gap because of the way the defensive lines are positioned. Jacobs can't really get to him or well, it's not even Jacobs, but the other running back can't even get to him properly and stop him making the play. And then Trent McDuffie has a clear run through to bat the ball away and stop it being anything from his position in the slot. Just such a creative chess match before the snap in this high leverage 3rd and 10 gotta have it situation that ends up being a complete win for the Chiefs defense and a play that the Raiders desperately needed and had no shot at.
Feels like Spags is doing that pretty often this year. I think he's had a good year dialing it up at the right time. Combination of them playing well up front, but also him calling a good game for that Chiefs defense. The Chiefs are back in control of the number 1 seed, and they don't play a team with a winning record for the rest of the year. In part because they play Cincinnati with Jake Browning, and they play the Bills, who are now 6-6, don't have a winning record.